Good afternoon, Balu.
GB, good afternoon. Suresh, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Raju, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Santosh Kannur, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Kumar, good afternoon.
Ethan is looking like a model with the beard and all.
Yeah.
Yeah, TJ, I was waiting for your comment.
Person who's always most well groomed is Suresh, Balu.
Yes, always.
Clean shaven, hair well combed.
Maybe his party work will get affected if he has not in grooming.
Suresh.
അങ്ങനില്ല അല്ല പുറത്തൊക്കെ പോകുന്നുണ്ട് അപ്പൊ ഇത് ചെയ്യാൻ പാടില്ല എന്നാ പറയാ താടിയൊന്നും വെക്കാൻ പാടില്ല.
He has to impress a lot of girls also, I think.
Good afternoon, sir.
Shailesh, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, everybody. Vinaya expert Ramendran is there.
He could not speak last day. He was prepared actually, but he could not speak that day. Founders Day.
Yes, he told me. I spoke to him.
കോഫി ഇതിലൊന്നുണ്ട്, ബാൽക്കണിയിലായിരിക്കണോണ്ട് കാറ്റൊക്കെ കൊണ്ട്.
അതെ.
Afternoon, everybody.
Afternoon, Jagdas.
Jetty sir, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
My name is not coming here. What should I do? My name here.
You joined in through that.
John, we know your name, John.
Thank you, sir.
Without our children, we can't do anything.
So how are you?
All well.
Good, sir. Everybody at home, sir?
All good.
God bless.
Fortunately, everybody is fine. Yeah.
God bless, sir.
So Balu, as soon as we are ready, we can start. You can see whether who all needs to come in. Check whether anybody is just logging in.
Sumesh is pending.
ബിന്നിൽ സൗണ്ട് കിട്ടുന്നില്ല.
ജഗദോഷിനെ കേൾക്കാം.
Sumesh, good afternoon.
വളരെ മൈൽഡ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള സ്പീച്ച് കിട്ടുന്നുണ്ട്.
ബിന്നിൽ
സിജി അജൂസ് ജോയിനിങ് ചെയ്യണ്ടോ? Any idea?
എന്നെ കോണ്ടാക്ട് ചെയ്തില്ല സാർ, ലിങ്ക് കൊടുത്തായിരുന്നോ? ലിങ്ക് അയച്ചായിരുന്നോ?
Link he received. Link is not.
I think he is busy with his daughter's engagement or wedding.
Maybe, I don't know.
Shivakumar, Gopakumar.
Good afternoon, sir.
Must come.
Is Elias joining?
Vipin, good afternoon. Open Karya. Okay, good.
Balu, Chennai, Srinivasan, Bangalore teams are ready?
Yes, sir, we are ready. We are here.
Yes, sir. Pradeep, yes.
Okay. What about Sundari? Sundari is in?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm also there, sir.
You are there.
Dr. Anil sir, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
All your team are there?
Must be there. I have sent the link to them. They said that they will be coming in.
സംഭവം നടക്കുന്നത് ഒരു ചെറിയ മൈൽഡ് ഫീബിൾ വോയിസിൽ കേൾക്കാം. അതൊക്കെ ചെയ്യാനുണ്ട്.
Somer is there. Then Rahul is there. Rahul Tiruvalla. Rahul Tiruvalla joined. Not at.
Elias is just logging in.
Sir, on Rahul check whether he is coming or.
Somer, can you check whether the Rahul is coming?
Baiju is pending. Aju has come.
Aju has come?
Aju joining. Aju, good afternoon.
What about factory? Tom and team are there?
Saju is there. Tom had to join.
Sir, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Somebody's music is coming. Mute your channel.
Bal sir, I have messaged him and he is going to come now. So you can start.
Okay.
Yeah. Be good if everybody can mute. Binil, എല്ലാവരെയും ഒന്ന് mute ചെയ്യാവോ? So whoever wants to speak, they can unmute at that time and then speak. So there's no disturbance from the background. Is Binil factory le വന്നോ അവര്? കേറുന്നുണ്ടോ?
സാജു സാർ ഉണ്ട് ഓൾറെഡി. രാജേന്ദ്ര സാർ ഉണ്ട്.
Tom, I think Remy വരുന്നുണ്ടോ?
ഒന്ന് നോക്കട്ടെ സാർ.
Jubin ഉണ്ട്. Jubin, how are you? You're on mute.
Yes, sir. Yeah. I'm good.
Hello.
Yeah. Jubin, all well?
Yeah, can you hear me? Yeah, all well, sir. I'm doing good.
Good.
Thank you.
Shall we start, sir?
Yeah, I think we'll start.
Yeah, good afternoon all. Happy to come back again with almost everybody into the Zoom. Success of second day, maybe after the Founders Day. We thought we'll utilize this time to have some knowledge on veneer, which is supposed to be our master product, but we are not doing, we can say, zero sale as per the volume which we are as present doing. So we thought we'll have a basic training on a basic of veneer. What is veneer? How to present it? How to go about in the market and all. So MD sir was having some concern on that, so that he said he will have a initial session on. Then we'll go to the deep into the technical side of veneer later once the thing is set up. So over to you, sir.
Yeah, welcome back. We have all the teams from Kerala, Chennai, Bangalore. Also, the people concerned with veneer from Kalmasheri and also from the factory, both the factories, both Odra and Kangarapadi. You can see Tom is also there. Tofi is there. So welcome one and all. Okay, this is going to be a very, very informal session. What veneer is, you've been seeing veneer. So I'm not going to get into too much of any of those things. The basic purpose of today's meeting is, one, for all of us to understand that we have a product called veneer, which is a very, very important product for us. This is a flagship product for us. So one, we need to understand we have a product. This is for some reason or no reason at all, we have kept this product aside. We've been busy with doors. We've been busy with Jackwood, Super D, and in the process, veneer has been moved to the side. But veneer is also a very, very important product of ours. And in the meeting, our objective, what we need to achieve at the end of the meeting is, one, we all need to understand this is a gold mine product of ours. This is a trump card of ours. That is one. And two, all of us need to get the confidence and passion to sell this product. Today, in nobody's minds, when you go into your office in the beginning of the day, determination. Now that needs to come in. We need to have a target, a daily target for selling veneers, for which you need to get the confidence, you need to get the knowledge and confidence and passion to sell this product. So that is the basic purpose of today's meeting. Now, why we should sell this product, why we should get passionate about this product is something I hope you will start getting involved with and understanding as we go forward. All of you have already been dealing with veneer in some form or the other. So you will have a lot of questions. You may want to say, sorry, sir, you're wrong many times. That is most welcome. Write it down. Every time you want to say, no, I don't agree with you, write down those points. End of the meeting, we'll have a question answer session where you can ask these questions. So wherever possible, I will answer. There are others also on the Zoom who are equally qualified to answer your questions. So Jacob Thomas, Baiju, Banu, Tom, Saju, so many people who are even Shivakumar, Gopakumar have been selling. They will also have a lot of
Ramachandran also is there.
Ramendran is there. So everybody will help answer your questions. I'm sure you will have even simple questions like, without samples, how can we sell? We will address all these questions as we go on. Some of your questions may be answered, some may not be answered. So you can bring up those questions at the end of the session, and we will, as far as possible, we will see how they can be addressed. So that's the basic purpose of this meeting, to get a passion and confidence to sell this product, and also understand what all different variations of veneer we have. What are the other products in veneer that we have? So to get to that, I'll give you a small history and background of veneer. One, as far as we are concerned, where do we stand as far as veneer is concerned? Basically for the purpose of help of the newcomers. We are the pioneers for veneers in India. In 1974, we set up 74, 76 period. 74, we started the first veneer slicing unit, and we were the first to start manufacturing group match decorative veneer in India. So today, our sale of veneer, our share of veneer sale is so low, we need to get that back. We were at one time known as, when the moment you say Jackson's, it was related to veneer. So we need to bring that back. Jack Veneer has to become the #1 performer in the market as early as possible. And from the time we started with veneer to now, our infrastructure, our capacity is not twofold, not threefold. It's much, much higher. So we have a huge capacity, and we all need to work passionately towards making veneer and veneered products on top of our range. Door will be one segment, panel products will be MDF, HDF, pre-lam, other panel products will be another segment, furniture will be another segment, and veneer will be another segment. So these are 4 verticals that we all need to focus on. So that is a little history. I'm not, other things you already know, so I'm not getting too much into it. A simple question of general knowledge: which came first, veneer or mica? Now, for your information, veneer has been a product in existence for over 3,000 years. So it's a product which started in Egypt, not because there was a shortage of wood at that time. This is what we all need to understand. We don't use veneer to save wood only. That is only one of the reasons why we use veneer. So 3,000 years ago, if the Egyptians were using veneer, they were not slicing veneer in these using sophisticated slicers that we use today. They were using it, sawing it with saw blades and making the veneer and using it, because only by using veneer you can get the quality of a flat for a larger expanse in a flat surface. When you want a dining table top of 8 feet into 4 feet, or a door of 7 by 3, you cannot have it in a single plank of wood which will bend. Even in those days, wood will bend. That 3,000 years ago or today, if wood is available, wood will bend, and getting wood to perform is not easy. It is expensive, and it is very, very laborious. So that is one. Number 2, when you slice wood, the life of the wood comes out. The beauty of the grains come out. Now you look at the solid wood plank, there is no life in it. It is all, the grains are not pronounced. The beauty of the wood is not there. Whereas when you slice wood, when you slice the veneer, the beauty of the wood comes out in different formats. It can be a flowery grain, it can be a straight grain. So depending on how you slice the wood, you bring out the beauty of the wood. So this is the history of veneer. Veneer is not a product we are using only to save cost. It is for quality, it is for aesthetics, it's for beauty. It is an exclusive product. Even at those days, it was an expensive product. It was not cheap. It was not cheap then, it is not cheap today. It is an expensive product. So this is what we need to know. Mica, of course, is a very recent product, probably end of 18th or 19th century, mid 1900s. Mica would have come into existence. Mica is nothing but a photograph of the original wood, printed and then stuck together using a lot of resin. So that is only an artificial product. So that is so it's very clear. Veneer is something that has been in existence for a very, very long time. What are the differences between mica and veneer? Even today morning, our Epen sir got onto the net and he said there are a lot of write-ups about the differences between veneer and mica. Whether you can compare veneer and mica, he says in that article, in all those articles, it says there's no comparison between veneer and mica because veneer is mica is artificial, veneer is original. So there is no veneer is cheap, mica is cheaper, veneer is more expensive. Veneer is original, the other is artificial. It is like leather and Rexine. So there's no comparison. And the class of the people using veneer is totally different. So it is a aspirational product. So there is no comparison between veneer and mica. So I'm not getting too deep into those things. I'm trying to get to how we should sell veneer, why areas we need to focus is what I will be getting into more. So what are the different products or what are the different types of veneer that we have? One, we have the natural veneers, which are veneers which are sliced from the natural logs like teak, rosewood, the American species, the African species, Bubinga, Sapeli. Then you have the exotic species, which are rare formations on timber like burls, bird's eye maple, pomele, and also exotic veneers like what we have now, Ovangol, Etimo. These are not the regular formations. Even walnut, we may have a exotic walnut if the formation is totally not the regular grain formation. We'll move that will go into the exotic formation. Those are expensive. It is again a rare formation. So wood, the pricing, the quality, everything varies depending on the kind of formation. It's a rare formation, then the value of that material goes up. It's like, you know, when all of you may have bought marble or granite. A rare formation, a rare design on a marble or granite will be always kept aside. The normal granite may be 120 or 150 rupees a square feet, whereas a rare formation in marble or granite may even go up to 1,000 or 1,500 or more per square feet. So it can go to any range. It is a aspirational product again. You want it, you need to pay the price. So this is something which we need to understand when we are talking about veneer. Sir, their price is cheaper. How are they selling it cheaper? It all depends on the quality of the veneer that they are buying. So various reasons come in. So you need to understand this as far as veneer is concerned. Then we have something called recon veneer. Now, natural veneer is natural, and as you slice, the grain structure formations keep changing. There are some customers who say they want everything very uniform. We don't want any variation in the color in the grain formation. So to cater to that need, the market has come up with a product called recon veneer or engineered veneer, EV veneer, which is again, it is wood. It is a non-decorative wood which is bonded together in a particular formation. Dyes are added to it, and the grain structure, whatever grains or grain formation pattern that we want, is also graphically embedded into the whole block. It's a complicated process. It's like a dye. The whole wood is re-dyed or dyed, and then it is sliced, and you get the uniform formation. Now, again, the lot of recon veneer what you get today and the recon veneer that you get after 6 months, there may be a slight variation because the concentration of dye and things like that may vary a little bit also, may marginally vary. But in principle, the grain formation will be color and grain formation will be say up to 90%. There will not be much of a difference. So that is called dyed veneer. Not dyed veneer, EV, engineered veneer or recon veneer. Then there is something called dyed veneer, where a species is actually dyed exactly how you dye your fabrics. You can dye veneer into blue color or red color or white color, and you have oak which is dyed, or ash which is dyed, eucalyptus which is dyed. So that is also another kind of veneer. Then there's another formation which is called what is that, Jake Thomas? No, but not dyed. Smoked veneer. That is another process like dyeing, where certain species which react well with ammonia is smoked along with ammonia, and the color is changed into a darker format. You get a dark smoked oak, smoked eucalyptus. These are the popular smoke colors, which takes a very, very dark color, and it becomes very expensive also. So these are the basic different types of veneer. Then there's another formation called a rough cut veneer, where while slicing, we give a rough cut to the veneer formation as if it has come straight out of the bandsaw. There's a rough cut formation. So these are different types of veneer, all sold at different prices. But the standard, what moves in volume and what is where the price is uniform or reasonable, will be the regular species, depending on from which country it is. So these are the different types of veneer. What are the products that we make from veneer? These are all products which are already with you. You have 3mm plywood, which is already with you. We can also do, we should start now promoting 3mm on our HDF. So you are promoting your jackwood. People are buying jackwood and then buying either sticking a laminate on it or painting it, or maybe buying decorative plywood and sticking on it. So they can straight away buy 3mm decorative instead of plywood HDF, where the price also comes down and quality is not coming down in any way because this is jackwood itself. So you can have, you should start promoting it, and eventually we should be producing only decorative HDF and MDF, 3mm HDF and thicker products in MDF or HDF. Then we have another product which is the fleece back veneer. Now, some branches are selling fleece back veneer already in reasonable quantity. The purpose of the fleece back veneer is for wrapping. Any curved surface you want to stick on a curved surface, then you can use fleece back veneer. On a flat surface, it is better to buy 3mm veneer on MDF or plywood and then stick it, because it is the pressing is done on a hot press, and it will not delaminate. But if you want to wrap the veneer, say on a cornice molding, on a curved surface where the wall meets the ceiling, there they have a wooden formation and they want to, there's a curved molding there, they want to wrap it, or a pillar needs to be wrapped, then fleece back is the obvious choice and the right choice. But I know there are a lot of your customers are now buying veneer and sticking it on tabletops when they want to change a wardrobe. I don't know, even on top of laminates. Now we don't give any guarantee for that. If they are happy, there's no way you can stop them because you don't know where they are going to use it. But we as professionals, I have not, Tofi will agree that we have not used fleece back veneer in any of our products. We use fleece back veneer for wrapping. Your jams are wrapped with fleece back. Your door architraves are wrapped with fleece back. So that is the basic purpose of the fleece back veneer. So keep that in mind and advise people correctly. How they use it is left to them, but you need to advise. It is not our responsibility if somebody calls you and says, we used your fleece back and it has delaminated. That we cannot do anything about that. That's a wrong usage, right? Then we have, again, this is our monopoly product, veneered MDF, veneered HDF. We introduced veneered MDF and veneered HDF in the early 90s, 93, 94, 95 onwards. We have been doing veneered MDF and nobody in the country had veneered MDF for a very long time. Now, even today, if you go ask for veneered MDF in the market, it is still a monopoly product. And since 92, 93, 1993, 92, 93 onwards, we have not used a single sheet of plywood or 3mm MDF or plywood in our furniture manufacturing. All our furniture, if you come to our furniture unit, you will see is only made from veneered MDF, pre-veneered MDF in 18mm or 6mm or 12mm, whatever, depending on the type of furniture, we use only veneered MDF. Even today, this is a market which we have not been able to develop, not because the market is not there. One, we are ignorant, or we have not understood how this product needs to be explained to customers. So fleece back, I gave you a little bit of explanation. Now, how does the market really use your 3mm veneer? Now, some of you already have good experience. Now, Ramendran sells 3mm plywood on a daily basis to carpenters. What are they doing with this 3mm plywood? Why is Tofi not using 3mm plywood in his furniture manufacturing? This, if you understand this, and you should understand this, then you will understand the scope of the veneered MDF boards. When you buy a 3mm plywood, this is our 3mm plywood or 3mm MDF is already sanded with 220 grit sandpaper, nothing to be done. It is all, you can straight away polish on it. But when a carpenter or an interior contractor buys your plywood today, they are going and sticking it, they are going to put Fevicol and stick it onto plywood or MDF, whatever baseboard. They will put Fevicol, stick it, and then put small headless nails throughout the board so that it sticks onto the board. And then they put weight and leave it overnight. Next day, they remove all the headless nails and then put putty into all the headless. To cover the holes, they put putty into it. And then the whole board has to be sanded again. So the whole process will take 2 or 3 or 4 days, and in today's labor cost, and the whole board is spoiled. Whereas if they buy an 18 mm veneered MDF board, the time that they save is huge. It's not in percentage terms. What can be done in 1 hour, they are taking almost 3 days. So this is what is happening in the market. So you need to understand this and start studying your customers' requirements and then advising them on which product to use. Veneered MDF is not. We started going into the Chinese market and understanding what is happening there in 2004. And we started producing veneered MDF, I told you, 92, 93 onwards. Till 2000, I think 7, 8, there was no veneered MDF in China. Even today, in India, we don't have veneered MDF. We are the only ones who are using veneered MDF. Otherwise, the quantity, you know how many sheets you're selling. All of you can ask this question to yourself. Because all these things I'm telling you for each of you individually. Each question is addressed to you, each of you separately. So you can ask yourself, how many sheets am I selling? Why am I not selling? What is sir saying? This has got a big scope. Why are we not selling? It's a question that should come to you. So till 2007, there were no veneered MDF factories in China. Then in 2010, 2011, we realized factories started mushrooming, and today there are at least 1,000 factories making veneered MDF 24/7, 3 shifts a day. That is the scope of this market. We have to learn to sell both veneer and veneered MDF. We need to understand customers' requirements, make them understand. You may be aware that 10 years ago, everybody used to talk about plywood. Now everybody is talking about MDF or HDF. No, they've understood plywood cannot be used, quality cannot be got, cost is too high. If they want to maintain quality, you need to move to plywood. So I mean to MDF or HDF. So that has started taking place in India. Now, veneered MDF is something which we need to sell. Every district, every village, every carpenter will start using only veneered MDF once he uses it once. You get them to use it once, get a feedback from them, and you will see how the veneered MDF market shoots. So this is a gold mine product of us, which you all need to understand and start promoting. We can do 3 mm to 25 mm can be done. 12, 15, 18, 25, or the 18 mm boards can be done both in HDF and MDF. Somebody wants veneered HDF. Yes, we can give them veneered HDF, which nobody else in the country can give. Nobody else, that's not introduced in the market. So this is something which I want you all to understand and start thinking about on how to promote this, right? Now, how do different people look at veneer? See, your customer segments for the sales team, you have your obvious segment, which is the dealer segment. Then you have the carpenter segment. Then you have the OEM segment. So, and then you are selling veneer through your showroom. So the way you sell veneer in each of these outlets are different. Right? You need to understand that. Veneer is not like selling mica. Anybody can sell mica. Anybody can sell a prelam board. But to sell veneer, you have to upgrade yourself. You have to be passionate about selling veneer. Only then you can sell veneer. It is like selling leather. Anybody can sell Rexine. But to sell leather, you have to be passionate about the product being natural in nature, different in nature. It should give you prestige. You should get excited about the product. Then you will sell, because in veneer there is nothing called good, bad, or ugly. Every veneer is beautiful. You're slicing different kinds of woods. In every wood, any kind of wood formation, it depends. It's like looking at art. You look at modern art, you may not understand anything. You may think it is all rubbish, and then you will have somebody coming in paying a couple of lakhs and buying that art because it is something precious. That is the story of veneer. So you need to you will sell veneer only by the story, by getting passionate about it and selling it. Banu sir is on the line. I think I mentioned this earlier also. There is a door displayed there with knots on it. And today there are customers who want exactly the same veneer formation when they order the veneer door. They want it with the knots. So it is all depends on how you sell the veneer that people. So coming back to how you sell veneer in different outlets, to different segments. Now coming to the dealer outlet, that is where the sales team is already concentrating. You're already dealing with your dealers for MDF and HDF. For Jackwood and Super D, you're already there. So Jack Veneer needs to become the first choice of all your dealers, and dealers need to come asking for veneer from you. Right? Now, will dealers stock and sell? If they stock and sell, very good. We are not telling anybody not to stock. Popular species like teak. Teak is like a commodity. Teak, everybody wants teak, and teak is not available. OST is something which is every carpenter, every dealer will know what OST is. One side teak. So you can give one side teak on plywood. Our plywood is the very high overlay grade plywood, which we laminate our boards. Very expensive plywood. It is not any softwood. It is 100% hardwood plywood. Very difficult to get. Not cheap. It is expensive, and it's getting that quality of plywood. It's going to be not only difficult, will also may become impossible as the time is going by. So plywood is becoming good quality plywood, 100% hardwood, overlay grade plywood. So you are sticking a thin veneer on a sheet. You cannot stick veneer on any material, any plywood or any board. The quality of the board has to be absolutely flawless. It has to be absolutely flat, and even the material inside, the inner layer, has to be absolutely perfect. Otherwise, you will find undulations on the surface of the board, and delamination will happen. So this is a very high quality plywood that we use. So you can give the OST on plywood or on our HDF, which again is a very, very high quality material, and it will be the price wise, they get the advantage of cost. There's a cost benefit, so you can give. So for dealers, teak, yes, they can come and select, and they can stock the material. American walnut. These are the fast-moving species, American walnut or oak or ash or mahogany or sapele. Maybe 4-5 species. They want to keep 10 sheets, 15 sheets, 50 sheets. They are free, they can keep. But expecting a dealer to stock Ovangol or Tiger Wood may not be, unless the way a dealer sells material, they will not get up from their seat. So for them, their model of selling is they need something which is uniform. Peak and some very, very fast moving veneers, yes, you can get them to stock. But otherwise, you can ask them, get them to stock our recon veneers, engineered veneers, whether walnut or teak or sapele, what are we have cherry, we have 5 or 7 recon veneers. This they can stock even 10 sheets, 15 sheets, 20 sheets. If they stock, they can that is uniform. That they will not have any problem with unsold stock. So recon veneer and fast moving natural veneers, definitely dealers can stock. The other inquiries which a dealer will get is based on how we work with architects. When we work with architects, somebody, say an architect in Trivandrum, specifies a material, immediately the contractor or the carpenter who's doing that work is going to go check with all the dealers who have veneers whether that is available. We had a veneer earlier called black limba. So that is an exotic veneer. Now we had a batch. We had around 1,500 sheets of black limba. Again, unless somebody really comes and selects that veneer, nobody is going to buy it. Out of the blue, we got an inquiry for 1,200 sheets of black limba for a big hotel project in Hyderabad, and we were shocked. He said, "Where did this come from?" So, an architect who had seen our samples had noted it down and specified our black limba and straight 1,500 sheets. With that, the stock of black limba became minimum. So that is the power of working with architects, giving them samples and creating an awareness with architects that we have a wide range of creative, exotic veneers which can cater to their creativity, which can address their creativity. Now, the regular species, of course, that is where the volume will come, and even architects will be using that regularly. But we should kindle their creativity and tell them, sir, you should be using Tiger Wood, you should be using Ovangol. This is something which no other architect has used. Immediately, they will start specifying your material, and client might come directly to your showroom. They may go to a dealer outlet. So dealer should have the freedom to call you and say, do you have this? We work with photographs, send them the photographs. You cannot work with samples because what the sample and the actual sheet will vary. The contractor or the architect's representative or the architect should come, see the sheets, and then take it, or whatever modality you have based on your working relationship, you should address that with the. So coming back to the dealers, this is how a dealer will sell veneer. He is not to get up from his seat and tell stories about the veneer to sell veneer. He will sell if somebody comes and asks and willing to take whatever he gives, he will sell. So fast moving species, teak definitely. Recon species, yes, dealer can sell. Otherwise, sample should be there. Our poster should be there in every outlet. Our veneer poster should be there. And they should have the freedom to call. Now, a dealer should have the freedom to call Joju in Trichur and say, e-veneer undo. The Choikan under working. And then, so that freedom we should develop with the dealers. Coming to the OEMs. Now, again, OEMs who do standardized furniture, who make their own furniture now, like Tofi does in our furniture unit. So that is a kind of manufacturer OEM. Then you have other big OEMs who do works for architects. They should be aware that they can use Vineyard MDF. Vineyard MDF should be their first choice. Not only one for quality, two for cost. When you are buying 3mm today, not 99% of OEMs are buying 3mm plywood and sticking on your jackwood. They are buying jackwood from you and sticking 3mm plywood on your material. What is the cost implication? Have you ever calculated the cost implication? Your cost of, say, American walnut, I'm not sure what the cost is, say 120 rupees a square feet. Your MDF is 80 rupees. For easy purpose, say 100 rupees a square feet. You're sticking both the sides, 120, whatever, 200, 300, 350 rupees a square feet is the cost of your both side Vineyard walnut, or Vineyard teak will be also on similar lines. And then the labor, 1,000 rupees for one carpenter and his helper, another 500 or 700 rupees, 1,700 rupees labor cost. Where is the cost of the panel going? Whereas you can buy your Vineyard MDF for, I don't know, you have your pricing, maybe 200 rupees a square feet, fully finished, pre-pressed, hot pressed, 200, 250 rupees, you get a fully finished product and which can be used overnight. So now you need to ask yourself, each and every one of you, how many sheets of Vineyard MDF am I selling? Why are my customers not buying Vineyard MDF? Something wrong somewhere, we need to correct it, right? If they are buying 3mm plywood, in my mind, that OEM is still ignorant of what the latest methods of production is. If he's a carpenter, I can understand. If he's a carpenter, I'm not blaming them. They are comfortable. Some carpenter say wall paneling. If a carpenter is buying veneer for wall paneling, they say they have a lot of for interior decoration. Turnkey interior decoration where they're cutting and sticking it here, sticking it there, trying to use all the panels everywhere. Okay. Or they want to change the formation of the grains. They can buy 3mm plywood, but not a regular organized OEM. So all of us need to understand how these products are used and then advise our customers. Then you will see each product, the volume of each product going up. So OEMs, the way you address veneer, way you talk to them has to be different. Dealers should be different. Both these areas, the volume that you can get is very, very, very huge. So something that all of you need to understand. This is the basic intention of today's meeting is this. Before we restructured our organization, our capacity for 3mm veneer was 18,000 sheets per month. Today, our capacity for 3mm veneer is around 75,000 sheets per month. So you need to ask yourself, what is the contribution you are going to give from your branch? So what are the options? To cut costs, what are the options? You want to go into the cost conscious market? You have recon veneer. You can go for recon teak. On plywood, you want to still cut costs, you can go into recon veneer with our HDF, Jackwood HDF. No competition in the market. I repeat, no competition in the market. So this is how you need to Vineyard MDF. All carpenters, all OEMs, how do you educate them on Vineyard MDF? I remember there was somebody in Chennai who used a carpenter who used Vineyard MDF who never went back to plywood after that. He says, why should anybody use plywood after when this product is available? Right? So it depends on how now you need to how you have understood the product and how you want to get into that, how you deal with. So architects are also very important because they specify. You need to get them to specify. They may not understand the value of a Vineyard MDF to specify. You can show them the samples; they will be impressed. But the Vineyard they will specify. Then we need to work with their carpenters and OEMs and understand. Now, I'm happy Aju is here. Aju is selling pre-laminated MDF on a daily basis. What is pre-laminated MDF? 10 years earlier, nobody was buying pre-laminated MDF. Everybody was buying MDF and buying mica and sticking. Today, only a fool will buy mica and stick on a MDF or plywood. I mean, on plywood, they have to buy mica only. Unless they want to use a shade which is not available in the pre-lam collection. Otherwise, you will use only pre-laminated MDF because the board is ready to use. It's the same case with why should you buy 3mm and stick on a MDF? When you are getting ready Vineyard MDF sheets to be used. I think Kottayam is a typical example where plain MDF is not the main sale. It is pre-laminated MDF in their case. That's because Vineyard MDF has not gone into the heads of people. We need to promote. Pre-lam can go for the carcass. Okay, what is the box of the cupboard, box of the kitchen? You can go for pre-lam or anti-cockroach MDF. Can go inside. The door should be Vineyard. Wardrobes, TV cabinets, office cabinets. The outer face should be Vineyard MDF. Okay. So we have. I'm not sure to what level you all have. You are understanding this product. Even the products that I have just mentioned so far are monopoly products of yours. Now, couple of further developments we have done, which again, nobody in India has. You can first promote what I have told you so far, but the other products which are also ready to be rolled out, if you are ready to sell, which is of very high value to the customer, is we have Vineyard MDF with veneer on one side and white on the other side, white pre-lam on the other side. So on a kitchen cabinet or a wardrobe or a TV, the carcase is all white and the inside of the door is white. It matches with that. Again, reduces the cost of the veneer, reduces the cost of polishing, and you need to only polish the outer surface. Miracle product, wonder product. Tofi is using only that now. Otherwise, he had to polish both sides of the door. Now, Prasad will understand, or Santosh and Trivandrum, if you open your cupboards, you will understand it is it's a laminate on the other side. So, it's a wonderful, magical product there. So, this is one. Another wonder product, again, if you need to upgrade yourself to sell these things, is polished Vineyard MDF or polished veneer, UV lacquered veneer. Now, not a common complaint I get or common fear I hear often is, sir, it will get scratched. So you need to ask yourself, all of you are selling pre-laminated MDF, is it getting scratched? If your pre-laminated MDF is not getting scratched, why should your polished veneered MDF get scratched? How do you finish the edges? Exactly how you finish your pre-laminated MDF edges. It can be colored, it can be stained, it can be edge banded, it can be wooden edge banding can be done manually, or profile it and color it, right? So huge potential. So we as a manufacturer should be producing only 18 mm veneered MDF. It can be both side veneered MDF, one side white, one side veneered MDF in multiple species. Not even 3 mm. 3 mm should be, maybe 10% can be 3 mm or 20% can be 3 mm, but 80% should be 18 mm. That is where, as a matured manufacturer and with a matured sales team, that is where we should be. Okay. In our Founders Day address, I said 3 things that we need to do is to work as a team, fix targets, ask for training. If you follow these 3 things, you will get the help that you want. You can keep coming back and saying, asking for help in any of these areas, then you will start selling these products in the right manner, in the right quantity. So please understand this, these products and how you need to sell that. So OEMs, how do you address? Dealers, how do you address? Carpenters, if they are going to the dealers, then you need to address it through the dealers. Through our showrooms, how do we address? Now, there was a time few years ago when we were doing heavy promotions for veneer, and Shivakumar and Gopakumar were selling 20-25 species, different types of species to different customers, maybe 5 sheets, 10 sheets, 20 sheets on a daily basis to customers. Now, we have over 50 to 70 different species of veneers. Okay. And the range will only increase. Unfortunately, because of COVID and the conditions today, we are not able to expand our range, or it's very, very difficult. There is no sourcing any material, because this is something which has to be sourced from all over the world. And it is a very, very dynamic business. Now, when we are keeping 50, 70, 100 species, if you depend only on the dealer market or only on the OEM market or only on architects, you will not be able to sell all your species. We need to sell all species. And that is the purpose for which we have started our own outlets in as many places as possible, right? So you should be waiting. The product that a customer is going to get most impressed with is veneer. So how are you going to sell veneer from your showroom is something that you need to ask. You need to make the customer really impressed. He should say, wow, but by showing your veneer. So if you are able to impress a customer on veneer, even if he doesn't want veneer, if you can show the magic on wood and get his confidence, you will sell all your products. Now, how do you do it is something that you need to understand. You may show bulls. It's like in football, a reverse scissors kick. It's not something you use regularly, but you impress everybody and then you psychologically beat the opponent also. Or a reverse sweep in cricket is something that these are things which you need to use as salespeople. you need to show the magic of veneer, maybe burls, maybe pomele, or maybe the same veneer in two different formations of grains, maybe color variations, and convince the customer that you are the expert as far as wood is concerned, and they should not think of going anywhere else. Then you can sell any veneer, any species, because no veneer is better than the other. Right? Every veneer is as good as the other. Right? So, selling veneer from our showrooms is very, very important. The stock aspect is another aspect which we will be addressing. You need to understand when we are having 50, 70 different species, straight grains, flowery grains, the biggest liability in veneer is stock, non-moving stock. That is why dealers also will not stock. They don't want to get stuck with something which will not. So now when we are opening multiple showrooms, we need to also be very, very conscious of this, and we should only stock material that will move fast. The other stocks, we need to keep a sample, representative sample. We will be keeping a reorder level, reorder quantity stock based on reorder level, reorder quantity at our master warehouse in Kalamassery, which will be managed by Sri Kumar, Ramendran and Ramendran. So they will be able to, you should study that stock and show samples, show pictures, and for the exotic species. But the regular fast moving species, you can keep the required stock that you want and replace that stock every time the next truck comes. So every week you can get the replacements for stock. But the other species, now all 75 species, if you are going to keep even 10 sheets each, is going to be 750,000 sheets, which value will go to 1 crore. So yeah, the value becomes very, very high. Normally, once you start stocking, now in Chennai, we used to keep, at the time, we used to have 3,000 to 5,000 sheets. It is not financially viable to keep stocks all over the place. Chennai and Bangalore, yes, you need to keep minimum stocks because of transportation. But other areas, we should learn how to rotate stocks from our showroom. So, selling veneer on a daily basis, attracting customers into your showroom and selling will be our focus area, right? I have covered most of the points. I'm just seeing whether there's any competition in veneer. Am I still audible or am I cut off from anybody? Can you hear me?
Yeah, audible.
Audible. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Rajendran, am I audible?
Yes.
Rajendran?
Yes, you're audible, sir. Audible.
Okay. Thank you.
Sir, you're audible, sir.
Yeah. Now, unlike mica, unlike any other product, the competition that you have for veneer is probably the lowest, right? Veneer is a specialized product, and the number of players in veneer you can count on your fingertips. The quality of veneer that is coming into India. When we started in 74, 76, up to even up till 2000, the competition was probably in one, you could count in one finger. Now, of course, the world market for veneer has opened up. There are probably 2,000 or 3,000 manufacturers in China alone. So, lot of junk veneer is coming into India. The lowest quality. In that we want stuck on softwood. You know, you take teak for example. The way they stick teak in China is the plywood is a very cheap plywood. They put a dark color on the back. The veneer, the commercial veneer on the back will be maybe a recon veneer which is colored to give it the look of a hardwood. Inside will be very soft woods called poplar and all. If you lift the sheet, lift our sheet and lift their sheet, you'll understand the difference of what I'm saying. And the veneer used is so thin that you can see through it. So how they stick it? They put, they add the color of teak into the glue and then stick the veneer on the plywood. So the plywood color will be white. It will be a soft wood, but they will add color, the teak wood color or walnut color on along with the glue, and then stick the veneer so the background color is not seen. And that comes, you're selling your veneer at 100 rupees and there's somebody coming and selling at 50 rupees. So don't get carried away by these things. You need to understand this and tell them that is the quality you want. Then that is not, it will start cracking, it will delaminate, it will get attacked by termites, all the problems. So that is not the not a worry for us. It's not our competition. We need to take that. So even otherwise, in the organized sector, branded segment, your number of competitors are very few. We will be competing with the branded segment. So you can count your competitors even now, maybe 10 or 12 or 15 competitors. In Kerala, you may only count 5. So the competition is not there. So it's a very comfortable area that we need to go. We need to penetrate. So competition is not an issue. We are confident, and we go into the market, we will be able to get the market. One very important thing which all of us should remember when we sell veneer, we should never get overexcited when we sell a large quantity or disappointed when we lose an order. Now, when somebody comes to your showroom, you are in control. You can sell. You are showing one veneer to the other. It is a story that you tell, that you sell. But when somebody specifies your material, an architect might specify a particular grain structure, a particular color, and a particular species. You may have it today. There is no guarantee that you will have it 3 months down the line when the architect actually specifies and your order comes to you. Similarly, your competitor. This will happen to your competitor also. You may suddenly out of the blue get an order because they liked your grains, not your competitor's grains. So nothing to get excited when you get a large order. Nothing to get disappointed when you lose a large order. This is something, a psychology which you should keep in mind when you deal with veneer. Yeah, I think I have covered most of the points. Factory team is also here. Now, when we get into the market, one area which we will be focusing and both from the factory level to the warehouse and in the showrooms, we should all follow the group matching concept of group matching, where we don't break a group. You all know what group matching is. So we may have a group of 5, group of 10, group of 15, group of 25, depending on the sequence of the veneer. The packing list will number the sheets, and that numbering should be maintained throughout. Even in your stock, your bin card, you should have a bin card system at every level where you have noted the sheet numbers, and every time a sheet comes in or sheet goes out, you are noting which number has been given to the customer. That is very important. So Tom and team and Tofi can also, the numbering system should be such that to a large extent we can identify if somebody comes back and says this was the number I took 1 week ago. We want to give something matching, at least from the same log, same color. It may not be matching in terms of grains, but as long as it's from the same log, as matching as possible, we should be able to trace back to the source and see what is the closest matching we can give. So group matching is something which I would like Tom, Saju, Jubin and Tofi to sit together and implement exactly what we were doing earlier. So you can sit with Jacob Thomas and please implement that. And everybody follows the packing sheet. If I come to Trivandrum, I will only ask for what are the groups that you have. I should be able to go to where your veneer is and attend a customer without asking anybody for help. Or if I come to Chennai or Bangalore, I should be able to do that, or any showroom for that matter. So this is something, the packing list system and bin card system, following the group number, we maintain the groups and set. Right? Yeah, so we will now open up for question and answers, and I will forward that question to the right person who can answer it. And also, after this session, you can send me a message on whether there was any doubts that, any fears that you have in your mind, or whether you learned anything new, or whether there was nothing interesting at all. I mean, it's a feedback is always good to understand, so that we would also improve the next time we take a session like this. So if you learned something, let me know. If you didn't learn, also let me know. If there are any fears which you have inhibitions about bringing it up here, send me a message. It will be only between us. I will try and address it for you separately also. Right? So now we will open it up for question and answers. You can unmute, ask your question, and then mute again.
Whoever has got doubts, please immediately ask questions.
If there are no doubts, we will start asking questions.
I have got a doubt actually. I can, maybe this is for all. How we will, is any thumb rule we can have it for if you say when we go to the market, there is a competition going on, prices this much by this. How we will know just one touch or just seeing it, how we will compare our product and the other product which is inferior to ours? How we can gauge and then convince the customer? Any thumb rule or minimum basic thing which we can evolve here, so that we can explain to everybody, so that it will be helpful to when we go to the market.
I think one thumb rule is the weight of the sheet. By the weight of the sheet, you can understand whether the base plywood used is good. I mean, you're not going to stick a cheap veneer on an expensive base. So one by lifting the sheet itself, if you lift your sheet and lift their sheet, the only way is to physically compare both the sheets. So you can understand that. Then looking at the sheet itself. Now, looking at the grain structure, it's sometimes difficult. I mean, you need to look closely, and then you can get a feel. Now, the same walnut veneer comes in multiple prices depending on the kind of grain and quality. It in multiple prices, but mainly they play with the now teak, for example, what you said is on the thickness. This is what comes from the cheap teak is coming from China, which is very, very thin, and you need to really observe. The dealer will know. He knows because he's buying it only on price. But the weight of the sheet is something that you can straight away understand. Yeah. Anybody else? Jacob Thomas or Baiju, Banu, do you have any other?
I have some tips for the team on pricing. Baiju here.
Yes.
Hello.
We can hear.
Yeah, our sales team is always telling that our price is much higher than the competitors. But in all the cases, the people are comparing the OST price, not the other species. If you compare the other species, our price will not be much higher than our competitors. But in the case of teak, there are specific reason why our price is slightly higher than the competitors. The first case is, as Thomas sir mentioned, lot of ready-made pre-laminated teak veneer is coming from China, and the thickness of the veneer is 0.16, and the backply is 2 mm, and with the quality is not good. And if you sand that OST for 2 or 3 times, the veneer will not be there. That is the that sheets are sold, I think, around 35, 40 rupees, and they are going the market. Second is from the organized sector. For example, green is selling at 65 or 70 rupees. But in that case also, the board, their veneer thickness is thinner, much thinner, and their base plywood. In the case of veneer, especially teak, the base plywood quality is very important. And this base plywood they are making with some recon and call it as Gurjan in the market. So their price is less. And in our case, our 3.5 mm OST, the main attraction is the back and face veneer. It's all 1 mm veneer we are using, but our main competitors, they are using 0.6 veneer for OST. And our veneer thickness is also much around 3.3 mm veneer we are using. That's why our OST is slightly expensive. But in the case of repair, our veneer will be last forever. We need not to repair it. We need not to repolish again. But if you use this 65 rupees or 48 rupees OST, it has to be repaired in periodical intervals. The customer will end up in lot of problems. And the second thing, if you want to reduce your price, as Thomas sir mentioned, offer them the backing with the HDF. Because the board with HDF, if you ask me, my personal preference is backing with HDF only, because that the lamination will be perfect compared to veneer. The lamination with HDF will be perfect, and we'll get the seamless board also. So you can, if some pricing issue comes, you can offer this board with the HDF backing. And if you compare all other species like walnut, cherry, maple, or any species, our price will be very much competitive with our competitors. So don't fall in the trap of competitors. they will always tell that they will be comparing with OST only. But in second case, yeah, you can also offer recon veneer. In the case of recon veneer, also our price will be slightly higher or competitive. But there are also some differences there. We are using the same overlay plywood that Thomas sir mentioned earlier for laminating rosewood or natural teak or walnut, and even for recon. So the base plywood or back plywood for all the veneers, including recon, is the same in our case. But the competitor Greens, they are selling it as a separate brand also, Spectrum. They are using different quality of back veneer for the recon segment also. So you'll have to study the competitors' pricing for each and every veneer and their quality parameters also. And the second thing, third thing, the OEMs in Cochin, I know around 5-6 OEMs, they are all using 300 to 400 sheets veneer every month. So regularly, today also I met a designer. He has been using a lot of veneer for hotel projects and one single OEM. So the pricing you have to study. First, you will have to study the competitors' pricing in detail and the quality difference also. Thank you.
Baiju.
Thank you. Thank you, Baiju. Anything else? Any other? We'll go to the other questions. J.K. Thomas or Balu, you want to add to that, or Balu, you're fine?
Fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Any doubts? Anybody else got any?
I wanted to share my thinking. This training, I got a new idea of like what Taman sir was mentioning, that the carpenters, if we market to the carpenters, how to use veneer MDF in manufacturing a cupboards. Most of the carpenters are not doing anything like that. Nowadays, there's a trend that everybody has moved to this pre-lam. So if we can get these carpenters and convert them to use veneer MDF, that will really build up the volume for jackwood. That's what I have learned in this training. And I would definitely try to do that.
Balu, can you unmute? Can you got what doctor was?
Yes, I got. Yes.
Definitely. I mean, we have our outlets in all these places specifically for that. So depending on the carpenter pool that you're able to attract, direct carpenters, definitely all your direct repeat customers should be trained, should be educated on this. Even your dealer outlets where you are looking at truckload offtake, their carpenters, you can have separate classes for their carpenters. They can buy from the fast moving, now teak 18 mm teak boards. Now 18 mm teak plywood is a high demand product. It's not available. It may not be available easily because there's no teak to stick and give, and sticking on plywood is not easy. But if you stick, if teak veneer plywood is available, every dealer will grab. So why are we not introducing teak veneer boards, 18 mm boards to the market? All dealers will recon or natural. Both everybody will grab. All
in that case, we need to, Balu sir, in that case, we need to organize some dealers meeting, or for the leading dealers, we need to organize training for this this veneer MDF and how to promote it.
That, we can, when we go to the dealers visit, so we can anyway we have the sample of this veneer MDF with us. That also to be shown, and then live demonstration we have to show. Other than having, okay, we can have, once everything is set right, we can have a training session for dealers also.
No, it would be better to get a few of their leading carpenters.
Balu and team of the entire sales team, to sell teak, you should not go behind anybody. People should come behind you. Teak is not available, and it is with great difficulty that we are sourcing teak. One, it is not available, and it is very expensive. So we should be also smart. Our entire team, you should understand this. People will come behind you for material. So you should also say, I have this, I don't have much quantity, and create a market and create a value for what you're selling. Not the please edukava. Edukanda. Nagada saana illa tharan. Edukanengi vela irkam. Idinte value idana value undengil you will see the material moving. It's a high value product. All these things, whether it is both side veneer or one side veneer, one side white. So you need to position yourself and present it correctly. You can discuss that with Balu, and don't kill the product. This is something you need to everywhere, even Bangalore and Srinivas and Banu. You need to create a hype for this product. And
my suggestion is for a dealer, we will discuss that their carpenters, like leading carpenters who are using teak, who is having high demand for teak, we do a training, special training to make them understand the value of veneer MDF.
Dr. Anil, actually, these carpenters and contractors are mainly shy away from veneer, mainly because the lacquering cost. In the market, if you engage a polisher for lacquering veneer, you will have to pay 150 rupees per side per square feet. We'll have to catch on that, and we can provide pre-polished veneer with protection film at half the price. So we'll have to look into that market.
That we can do, but the point is everybody is still using teak now. With a very high price, there are a lot of interiors, a lot of carpenters who take teak and do cupboards. And like what Taman sir is telling, the price of teak is very high and we are not getting teak. Then this is definitely an alternative for that. This will be giving the same finish of the teak cupboard now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Any other points anybody has got? Or Suresh, any points? Now we should ask every individual, then only will answer, or Kumar, any Sumesh, you have any point?
Yeah.
Yes.
So one point, again, the session was, really enlightening in terms of product. It's actually a refreshing on what we know and add to that. And I would also like to suggest that we in the sales, we are in the field. So something, where we can address the regular questions which may come from architects as well as dealers, as some points already Thomas sir said, that the rejections which come from their end, maybe the cheap veneers or other reasons why they are not going for a high class product like ours. If we can encounter with our pitching, and if we have some sort of training on that, it will really help on the ground. Sales pitching especially. Product knowledge, yes, but in terms of sales pitching, if we can add a few more points in the session, that would be great.
No, veneer, Sumesh, when you actually start selling veneer, you will realize you will not have any problems in the market. What is being sold cheap, even your dealer knows it's a low quality product, and he knows he's going to get it just because of the price. He's getting 5 rupees more as his margin. He's buying it very cheap and selling it. He knows there's no quality in it. But a specified material coming to the dealer, now say an architect in Calicut specifies your say tiger wood, or now if he specifies tiger wood, then it's a monopoly for you. You should understand that nobody else can give. So there are certain veneers that nobody can give. You can check in the market and see. There may be 5 or 7 species which nobody can give. Even I don't think bamboo. There are many species which you will have a monopoly. So their price is not an issue at all. Even your regular species. Now, we from Bangalore and Chennai, I asked somebody, 2 builders, to call as a customer and get the price of walnut and sapeli. Just to understand, walnut, sapeli, oak, 3 species I got the price. It was 10 rupees more than our MRP. And these are big builders who are buying regularly from their dealer. So I'm assuming they would have got at least a 10% discount from the dealer. The price that we have got is 10 rupees more than our MRP. So you will not have a real price issue. That's what Baiju said earlier. In terms of veneer, we are underpriced again. We should not be underpriced. We've always been at a premium for our products. So today we have not changed the price because our team confidence has to go up in the product. In our quality, our product range, our service, our knowledge of the product, that confidence goes up. Your price is not a factor. People will come behind you for veneer. You can ask Govamar and Shivakumar when they were selling all the species in Edapalli, or Banu. Even recently, there was somebody had come. The Chennai showroom is getting people coming and selecting veneer and buying. You can ask them whether they are having any issues with price. Yeah, Banu, can you give your experience? Sundari?
Yeah. The present walk-ins, or just immediately before the lockdown, we had regularly walk-ins, including architects. In selecting, there is no price resistance. There is no price resistance. Only they wanted to select what particular peculiar grain pattern or whatever it is. Only that. Otherwise, there is no price resistance from the walk-ins who was coming specifically to buy veneer from us.
Banu sir, are you doing anything to increase the walk-in for such customers? Any activities?
Actually, what we do is that we have a daily calling systems. We have the architects and the builders and OEMs list. We regularly, every day, we make some calls. Minimum 2 people are calling, at least minimum 8 to 10 calls are going out. And in which around 10 to 15% are responding positively. And in that, suppose we make a call this week, probably next week or next project when it comes after 2 weeks, they will walk in. They will call and come, and they specifically ask for a particular item in case of doors or venues or whatever it is, and they select from that. We are getting walk-ins. Not every day booking is taking place, but otherwise every day walk-ins are there just before the lockdown. Now again, we had to restart this calling system and get the people coming in.
I will give you an example, Doc, for everybody. You need to create an awareness in your market that you are the veneer king. Veneer means Jack Veneer, and we have all the species. Come, touch and feel, smell the wood, select and buy. Then you will start selling all the species. Now, no dealer will do this. No dealer will sell all your species. Architects who sit in their office also will not buy all your species. They will go, if they're not willing to step out of their office, they will only go look at your samples, and invariably they will select walnut or sapeli or ash or oak or teak. They'll be happy with that. But if you can create an excitement in the market that exotic, coming, touching and feeling and buying is different, and there is magic in coming and selecting veneer, the touch and feel, the passion that you get is totally different. The satisfaction you get is different. You will see people coming in. Many years ago, we had a small boy from Hyderabad called Praveen, who on his own came to our Chennai office and said he wants to take the dealership for our veneer. And he on his own, we are having an exhibition in Chennai, he came. He is part of the stall team on his own. Learned everything about veneer. He was a dealer. His father had a plywood shop, and he took the distributorship for Hyderabad. He used to sell from his showroom. And today he's got a very, very flourishing veneer business. He sells only from his counter. I went there two and a half years ago, and I'm seeing every 10 minutes there is somebody coming and picking up 10 sheets, 20 sheets, vehicle standing outside selling only veneer. And he sells it very high profile, no discount, no undercutting, nothing. It is sold as an exclusive high-end product. You come, select, depending exactly how you select. When you select one granite to the other is straight, this is 150 rupees, the other one is 300 rupees. So you need to know your subject. You need to understand the difference between grains and tell why the price difference is there. You will see people coming to you. When you are building a house, you want something different. So, of course, we should know, we should help the customers without confusing them. One veneer is, it's a tremendous knack to sell veneer. You should not confuse people also. It's like going to a silk sari shop. You go with the budget of 5,000 rupees and end up buying a sari for 25,000 rupees. It all depends on the man standing behind the counter. He starts with your budget and then he starts showing you different things and tells you why that 15,000 sari is different from the 5,000. Both are Kanjipuram silk. But അതിന്റെ വ്യൂ വേറെ, അതിന്റെ ബോർഡർ വേറെ, അതിന്റെ കനം വേറെ. ഓ, എന്റെ മോടെ കല്യാണം എനിക്കിത് തന്നെ വേണം, 25,000 rupees. Aju will understand what I'm saying. It is very, very difficult. But if that man behind the counter confuses you, you will say, I'll come back tomorrow, and that sale is gone. So you should not confuse the customer. You should close it as fast as possible. Shortlist, streamline, shortlist on one or two species and understand the psychology and close it. Because any veneer end of the day is beautiful. Whether you take this or that is not this thing. But the customer should feel he's got something that is best in the world. That is how you should sell veneer. How to bring in people? Now today we are the social media campaigns, lead generation campaigns. What all needs to be done? Each of you need to coordinate with Balu and Shivakumar, and depending on each product, the targets you have for each product, depending on the walk-ins you want for each product, please ask them to come up with creatives. You can give for your branch, for Bangalore, if you want to use particular messages, you ask, they will develop it for you. Or for Chennai, or for Trivandrum, for whichever branch. But create an awareness. Every architect, every OEM should know, every carpenter in your area should know that you need to tell us how that awareness is going to be created. Every dealer should know, even for 1 sheet or 100 sheets, they can call you. Even if they are not stocking, they should be able to call you and get sheets from you. Stock is available, you give that immediately. Otherwise, it has to be brought in from Kalamassery. You need to take the time and the shortest possible time, get it done. Yeah, we can go to the next question. Srinivasan, any concerns, any fears as far as Bangalore is concerned?
No, sir, nothing at the moment. It's all good. Understanding what is being told, and now that the training session was actually very good. There were a lot of things that was like a revelation. Hello.
Yeah, thank you.
Has got any doubts, we can
Joju?
sum it up.
Joju sells veneers on and off in Trichur. Joju വല്ലതും പറയാനുണ്ടോ Joju? One observation that I have seen, the way Joju sells veneer, the popular species he has kept on a trolley in front, inside the showroom. Aju also has that in Kottayam. I was asking Joju the last time we went, do you want the trolley there? And he said, yes, we need the trolley because the sample sheets we are able to easily show customers there itself. And because we have noticed that the Joju sells species which are not the fast moving species also. So I was trying to figure out how he sells that. So he's got these sample sheets kept there and he pulls out on the spot. So now in Trivandrum it is in the basement. You need to take them down. So, or even in Edapalli, it is in the basement. Chennai, it is in the basement. It can be anywhere, but I'm saying it all. I'm just sharing what I've seen Joju do, and I see species which are otherwise not known to customers being sold from Trichur. So I think there is something that is working for him. Joju undo?
Joju sir, ഒരു connection loss ആണ് sir.
Connection loss. Okay. So this is something which you can analyze also. I don't know about Aju. Aju also has got that trolley there, but I'm not sure whether veneer വിക്കാറുണ്ടോ Adina? Aju, Siji?
രണ്ടുപേരും പോയാ?
Aju?
വിനീർ വിൽക്കാറുണ്ട്. ആ ട്രോളി ഞങ്ങൾ എടുത്ത് കാണിക്കാറുണ്ട്. ആൾക്കാർ വരുമ്പോൾ 1 by 1 ആയിട്ട് നീക്കി കാണിക്കാറുണ്ട് ആ ട്രോളിയിൽ നിന്ന്. ആൾക്കാർ അതിൽ നിന്ന് കൂടുതൽ സെലക്ട് ചെയ്യാറുണ്ട്. കൂടുതൽ ക്ലാരിറ്റി ഇല്ലാത്ത ഞങ്ങൾ അകത്ത് ഗോഡൌണിൽ പുറത്തെ ബാക്ക് ഗോഡൌണിൽ ഇപ്പൊ ഞങ്ങൾ എടുത്ത് കാണിക്കാറുണ്ട് കസ്റ്റമേഴ്സിന്. അല്ല, നമ്മള് ബാക്ക് സൈഡിൽ നമ്മൾ പുറത്തിറക്കിയിട്ടിട്ട് അതിന് ഗ്രെയിൻസ് തെളിച്ച് കാണിക്കണമെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അല്പം വെള്ളം ഒഴിച്ച് തുണിയിൽ വെള്ളം ഒഴിച്ചിട്ട് ഞങ്ങൾ തെളിച്ച് കാണിക്കാറുണ്ട് മറ്റേ ബാക്ക് സൈഡിലേക്ക്. ഗ്രെയിൻസ് കുറച്ച് അട്രാക്റ്റീവ് ആയിട്ട് ഇല്ലാത്ത അത്ര തെളിയാത്ത ഏതെങ്കിലും ഷെയ്ഡ് ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ഞങ്ങൾ വെള്ളം ഒഴിച്ചിട്ട് ഈവൻ സ്പോഞ്ചാലോ അല്ലെ തുണിയാലോ വെള്ളം ഒഴിച്ചിട്ട് ഞങ്ങൾ കറക്റ്റായിട്ട് പൂത്ത് കറക്റ്റ് ഗ്രെയിൻസ് തെളിച്ച് കാണിച്ചു കൊടുക്കാറുണ്ട്.
The veneer, if you sell veneer in the right fashion, you showed multiple species, pull it out, pour the water, show the grains. People will buy species that even they don't want. I had a friend just before the lockdown who came to our Kalmasheri showroom, go down. He wanted one particular species, he took that. But he saw another species, or sheet. He said, it looks so beautiful. I will just take it and keep it with me. Sri Kumar and Ramendra, he said, it looks so beautiful. Just send me that one sheet. I will use it somewhere. Either species then organized. Flowery green. So it's a natural material. You know, people will fall in love with it and have high respect for you. You have to become an advisor. You can call your, if it's a OEM or a architect, sir, I have got this particular species, amazing looking. There is fresh stock coming. You know, you can look at this. You should understand what stock you have. Depending on what you have, what is the interesting species, what is the stock, you can on and off give them a reminder or update them on the new stock that you have or new species that you want them to promote. This month, which are the species you want to focus, and ask them to focus on those species. Yeah. Any other questions?
Okay, now what the wonderful session was there. So we'll try to utilize all this details which is given by MD for improving our sales. That is the first important thing. We have to improve our sales on veneer. We'll have a session after this also, one or two sessions on veneer. Once everything is set, we'll have more technical side of details. Before that, we please get your market study on the veneer and have a comparative study and then send to us. sir. We'll have more idea on this and then make it better.
Bali sir, you can also do a session on how to sell.
Yeah, definitely.
Most of the people don't know how to sell. So as a specialist in selling, you should also do a training on how to sell.
Okay, definitely.
Just to, before we end, see, I want all of you to understand these are not, of course, this gives us an opportunity to come together on one platform from multiple locations. That is wonderful. But this is not fun. This is not coming and leaving, right? So now for Veneer, for example, I want all of you to understand the scope is so huge. Nobody is selling veneer anywhere. Now, Ernakulam, 10 years ago, we were selling 3,500 sheets only in Ernakulam district. Baiju and Jacob Thomas, you can ask them what was the sale. Only in Ernakulam district, we were selling 3,500 sheets, only Ernakulam district, and nothing. There used to be one dealer used to take 15-20 lakhs. So it is nothing. That is not a sale. When you divided between the OEMs, divided between dealers, and at that time we didn't have a showroom. We didn't even have a showroom at that time. I'm talking before Edapalli showroom came. Now you analyze if you take the sale of Jack Teak alone and say into 100 Jack Teaks in every district, the volume, the scope is so huge. You take Trivandrum, you analyze how many is a builder like prime property using, you will understand. And for a small one house, how many sheets of veneer does he take? Then you will understand the scope. So all of you need to understand, one, are you now confident? Have you taken a resolution that yes, I am going to sell? Then you need to break it up. For dealers, how are you going to present this? What is the volume you are going to sell? 3 mm, what is the volume? 18 mm, what is the volume? Fleece back, what is the volume? OEMs, what is the volume? Specifically. And then come back with a commitment that this is the target. When you show your target, we will understand whether you have understood the potential and scope of this product. Whether you know your market itself, we will understand. Otherwise, you need more training. Because I told you, from 18,000 sheets per month, we have gone to 75,000 sheets per month. And ask yourself how many sheets you are selling to contribute to that. So it is not a joke. We are playing with fire now. We need to get to figures, and we are all here to help you. You cannot sit back and say, now if you don't reply saying these are my targets and I need this help, then there is an issue, there is a problem. That means this whole session was a waste. That should not happen. Right? So this is not fun. Any of our sessions are not fun. You have to learn. You can tell me if it is a waste of time, tell us it's a waste of time. We will make it more interesting. But don't keep quiet and do nothing about it. Everybody. Kerala, Bangalore, Chennai, please understand the seriousness. That is why Factory and Godown is also here, because they are here to support you. They will get the product to you. They will stock the necessary quantities and get the product to you as fast as possible. Yes, Balu, if that is fine.
Yeah.
So
please have your market study and send back to us with your plan. Immediately once we are open, we are going to sell this. That is your plan. For that, what support we require, we can have a session on it and then we'll close it. So thank you, sir, for your valuable time for giving a good session on veneer. We hope everybody will utilize this and then sell more of our veneers. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, one and all. All the best.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
ഇല്ല, തുറന്നിട്ടില്ല. തുറക്കാൻ പറ്റില്ല. ഇതുവരെ നമുക്ക് ഫാക്ടറിയും തുറക്കാൻ പറ്റിയിട്ടില്ല.